Hello, and probably no one's here yet, but welcome to the live today. I'm coming on for another Mobility Monday. I said I'd come on and chat with y'all all for the whole month of December on Mondays. So I'm going to keep my word. So if you have any questions about mobility, hello and welcome. Go ahead and put them in the comments, or really anything about movement. Maybe you have some questions that you'd like a trainer to answer, health and fitness related. Go ahead and pop them down below and I would be happy to answer. So yeah, ask me your movement questions, ask me your questions maybe you've always wanted to ask a personal trainer. If you have any aches, pains, tightness, or tension, ask me about those and I would be happy to help. Hello and welcome to the live. Say hi and ask me your question. I'm drinking a little bit of a protein drink today because I'm a little short on protein. These are pretty freaking good if you haven't had them. They're really yummy. And about 20 grams of protein. Hello and welcome. So ask me your mobility questions, ask me your movement questions, and I would be really happy to answer today. Give me what you got. Oh, I got a little light on my phone today, so hopefully you'll be able to see me pretty well because it gets pretty dark in the winter. So I thought I would use something for you to see me a little bit better. So maybe you can tell, maybe you can't. I can definitely tell. Ask me your movement questions, ask me your mobility questions. I'm gonna chill until someone asks me. If you have some aches, pains, tightness, or tension, or maybe, hello. Oh, yay, good. I love a question. Hello, Kushal. Hopefully I said your name right. Welcome. I'm doing really well today. Thanks for asking. Hopefully you're doing the same. And then you're asking me what is the best exercise for spinal stiffness? That's a really good question. But I have a pretty easy answer for you. So your spine, most people have some kind of tension on some part of their spine because we sit a lot more than our ancestors used to. So one of the first exercises that I introduced to all my clients is a kind of cat-cow variation. I know you've probably seen cat-cow in yoga, but what I will have them do is try to move each vertebrae independently. I'll go ahead and show you that one today. That's pretty easy for me to show you where you are. And thank you so much for asking the first question, because that's always the hardest one. Okay, so if you're moving with me, you can go ahead and set up. I'm gonna be on the ground. We don't need a lot of extra equipment for this one. And I want you to come to your hands and your knees. So I want hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're gonna press away from the ground. And then I want you to tuck your toes under because this actually gives us something that we can ground into. From here, you're gonna notice that when you do these, your body wants to send more weight back towards your knees. So I want you to think about keeping a press out of the ground and your weight is over your hands. Think about gripping the ground, pressing away from the floor. And then from there, my toes are tucked. As you do these, you can think about digging into your toes, and we're gonna start with your low back. So like someone is slowly walking up your back from your lower back to your head. I want you to dig into your toes, and I'm slowly moving one vertebrae at a time. And I'm starting by coming into the cow position. So I'm slowly moving up my spine. I'm on my mid back, my upper back, and finally my head lifts. So you just want to move the vertebrae that you're at and nothing else. And now we're going to start the same way with the low back going in the cat position. So just my low back moves, just my low back rounds. We're going to keep the weight over the hands, the mid back, the upper back, moving as slow as you can. Shoulders stay relaxed down away from the ears, press away from the ground. And then I'll have you do a couple more. So again, we're starting just at your low back. If you're new, hello. We're doing my favorite exercise for your spine that I teach all of my clients. And this might look like I'm doing a regular cat-cow, but I am not. I'm doing a spinal car. And I'm starting at my low back here. So if you're joining, you can kind of see. And we're moving one vertebrae at a time, keeping the weight over the hands without moving anything else. And then once you have that one going pretty well, we can actually start with the head. So you'll lift your head first, squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your mid-back. This one's more challenging. I'm right around my mid-back right now. I'm pulling my ribs down. It's a lot in the core, guys, but you can also feel this at any part of the spine. And then finally, I'm going to arch my lower back, push away from the ground, and then for good measure, let's do the same thing going the opposite way. So you're going to tuck your chin back, press your upper back, back of the heart, ribs hug up to the sky. You can see me shaking a little bit. I'm on my mid-back right now. My tailbone tucks, just one vertebrae at a time is moving, and then I'm pressing away from the ground. And you can kind of do something like this every day, starting at your tail and starting at your head. And this is my favorite thing that you can do daily for your spinal health. And you might notice that at some parts, so for a lot of my clients, it's at their mid-back. It's really hard to control. What you can do, you can take a band or something around the area that's a little harder for you to control, place it there, and it can give you some feedback. But honestly, just doing something like this every day would be an amazing thing to just do for your spine. It can help with a lot of tension. Yay! You're welcome. Hopefully that helps. You can do something like this every day, and it helps quite a bit with spinal tension. Yay, first question. If y'all are new, hello and welcome. My name is Jo. I think I forgot to introduce myself today. If you have any movement or mobility questions, go ahead and pop them down below. Our first question today is, what do I recommend for spinal stiffness? And we did a spinal car, and that's basically like a cat-cow, but instead of just moving your whole spine in one chunk, we're isolating one vertebrae at a time and keeping the rest still. Yes, thank you, Lydia. I got my hair done today. I cut a lot. Well, I cut 2 inches off, and if you know one thing about me, my hair is really curly, so it never looks like this. It is never straight. It's always fun when it is. I feel like a whole different person. But if you have any movement-related questions, or any questions that you want to ask a trainer, go ahead and pop those down below. So I can answer, see if I can help today for Mobility Monday. And if you don't know me, hello, my name's Jo. And I'm drinking my protein today as I did not get a lot of it in. Hello, Chris. Hello, Lydia. Who else is here? Thanks for joining. Yay. Uh-oh, don't fall over. Hello. Go ahead and ask me your movement questions down below, or maybe ask me some health and lifestyle questions that you would like an answer to from a trainer. I see clients all day, and this is what we talk about, so I'd be happy to help. Hello, Chris. Thanks for joining. I like to see my clients and former clients on here. Always fun. Do you have any questions for me today, Chris? You got anything? You had a couple last time that were really helpful for people. Hello. Oh, Fadi, hello. Okay, I know a couple people on here today. Sorry for calling you out as soon as you come in. Welcome. If you have any, hello, Sterling. I see your name pop up quite a lot on my notifications. I appreciate the support to my content. If you have a question, go ahead and pop that down below. We just answered a question on spinal stiffness, and you'll be able to see that in the recording with what I recommend. Oh yeah, you got on the spot. You don't have to. I'm just, if not, I'm just sitting here talking to myself, and I don't know if anybody wants that. So please ask me, or if you have a comment. And I like that everyone's, Javi, I didn't say hello. Heart to you too. I'll give you one of these. I just don't want to talk at myself. Hello, happy holidays to you too. Yay. Ask me all of your mobility questions, y'all. Maybe you have some areas that have tension or pain. I'd be happy to chat about why and what you can do. That's what I help people all day with here in North Austin, and I would be happy to help. Guys, the body is a healing machine, so don't believe that you're stuck. I can help, and if you want answers, I can at least point you in the right direction if I cannot. There's always something that can help, I promise. There's always healing. Okay. I'm drinking these pillars. I get them at Whole Foods. They have about 20 grams of protein, and they're basically just yogurt that you drink. Hello. Welcome to the live, guys. Welcome to Mobility Monday in my room here today. Ooh, yay, good question. Thank you for asking questions. So I don't have to hear me talk. Chris asked, what do you recommend for mobility before and after running? So running, we use a lot of our feet and our ankles, and we use a lot of our hips and our core. So if I'm gonna go for a run, I typically do some joint specific things that can prep my feet and ankles. I do some joint specific things that can prep my hips. And then I typically do some kind of like dynamic stretches, squats, lunges, just to get my heart rate in a good place. I also do some things to get myself used to kind of falling and plyometric jumping that running is. So an example of something like that would be maybe I do some calf raises. I like toe elevated calf raises on some kind of step, just moving that ankle through its full range of motion. And then maybe I'll do some ATG toe raises and shin raises, so working the front side of the leg too and the tibialis anterior. I do those up on the wall, and then you're leaning back with your legs locked and you lift your shins. I can also do some joint specific stuff. Well, that's pretty joint specific too, where I move the ankles around their full range of motion. I might stretch my feet and my ankles, and so something like that. And then for the hips, I might do something like hip car. I might do something to open up the front of the hips as well, like some kind of dynamic hip flexor stretch. I'll show you one of those because I'm just talking and not showing things. So maybe something like this to open up the front of the hip if I know that I've been sitting all day, squeezing that back glute, driving the hips forward. And then I will probably do, some kind of hip car, some kind of controlled articular, oh God, I forgot what CAR stands for. Controlled, oh my God. I forgot what it stands for, but a CAR for the hip. That is crazy that I forgot. Just controlling the motion at the hip joint. And then I'll probably do something like body weight squats and lunges just to get my heart rate high. And then sometimes I incorporate some like single leg hopping or even some like controlled falling while I kind of pretend to fall and get used to getting into the pattern that I would be in running. So a combination of stuff specific to the ankles, specific to the hips, and then just some things that are gonna get my heart rate up so I'll be in a good place to run cardiovascularly. And then I typically do some squats and lunges and then maybe some hopping, because running is just like kind of controlled falling and like hopping on one leg because you're shifting from side to side. So I might do a little bit of stuff like that. Hopefully that is a good answer to your question, Chris. Let me know if you want me to follow up on anything I just said. Kelly, yes, thank you. I just got my hair done. It's never this straight, but it is today. Thank you, Chris. Controlled articular rotation, yes. I could not remember that. Yes, that's what that means. And what those are, I teach those for every part of the body. We actually just did one for the spine. Someone asked a question about, and I answered with that. They're things that you can do every day for daily joint maintenance. And when we're doing a controlled articular rotation, we're trying to just move the joint that we want to move and block the movement at other parts of the body. Because I'm sure you've seen someone moving their hip before. I see this a lot when I go to the gym. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you'll see someone moving their hip and their whole body is moving. Yes, we are getting probably some hip mobility there, but because we're not controlling that movement, we aren't necessarily getting as much as we could out of it for the hip. Now, if your goal is to move the whole body, that could be helpful, but a lot of times when people are doing something like that, it is for that specific joint. So blocking the movement at the other joints can give you a lot more mobility in that joint you're trying to move, and that's what controlled articular rotations, which I can't say today, are very, very helpful for. Yay, happy that helps. So yeah, some specific stuff specific to your body, Chris, that you like in your ankles and your hips. Some just general calisthenic warm-up based things. And then I like some jumping, maybe one leg hops. And then I kind of practice controlled falling because running is essentially controlled falling. But yeah, so we can do those for any movement, any joint in the body. And I have my clients do those a lot of the times before our session because it helps warm up the joints that we're trying to train that day. Yeah, thank you. I can't believe I forgot the name of that. I was like, I am forgetting something. Hello, Melissa. If you're new to the live, today's Mobility Monday, so go ahead and ask me any questions you have about mobility, movement, or maybe just something that you would like to ask a trainer. I'm going to be on here for about 30 minutes today, so I would be happy to answer any of your questions. Dun, dun, dun. I'll often do my ankle controlled articular rotations before I will run as well. I want to get back into running. Maybe some of y'all know I had a spine injury this year. And one of the things they told me to I was able to strength train, but the last thing they told me to wait on was running because it was a lot of pounding on my spine that was newly decompressed. So I've been putting it off. I've been doing a lot of other kinds of conditioning, but I haven't been running yet. And so I think since it's getting cooler, you'll see me out running pretty soon because I miss it. And that was my favorite form of exercise. Ooh, okay. Favorite SI joint stretch mobility exercise. So that's an area of the body that it's a joint. So we can't necessarily stretch your SI joint. And why I will notice tension in my body around that area. So where the sacrum connects with the pelvis is where the SI joint is. So it's a very, it doesn't have a lot of mobility, but people will feel a lot of pressure or tension there, in their daily lives when they run, walk, move. And a lot of the times when I notice that in my body, it has a lot more to do with my hip mobility than it does that part of my body. So one of the things, I actually was noticing some pressure around that area in my workout today. And I was curious. And what happens for me when that's happening is typically one of my hips is rotating a little bit better than the other. So I'll feel pressure around that part of my back, your lower back, around right here, right around the SI joint, when one of my hips is moving a little bit better than the other. So my other hip is having to move a little bit more for the other side. So let's go ahead and do one for that I kind of did today during my workout that might be helpful to you. Good question. So I'm gonna sit and do it. You can sit and do this with me. So yeah, I like to get into a Z sit position. Hopefully this doesn't fall. With one leg in and one leg out. The closer your legs are together, the less intense this stretch is gonna be. And if you notice this hip or one of your hips starts to lift a lot off the floor, I suggest taking a block or a pillow and setting it up under that. So from here, we wanna square the hips ahead, and you could come all the way into a 90-90 position if that feels comfortable in your body, or you could keep them nice and close. So we're gonna get into that position, one leg in, one leg out. And then I want you to think about squaring your hips like headlights ahead. So your pelvis is facing towards the front of the room. And then I'm going to place my hands next to my leg. From there, it's a hip hinge. I want you to think about sending this hip back behind you, leaning forward in this stretch until you feel the front, side, or somewhere around your hip Sometimes we're gonna be feeling the back hip more than the front hip here. And then from there, I want you to think about pressing that front leg down into the ground. So we're gonna lean forward, sending that front hip back until you feel a nice stretch in this hip. And then I want you to press the ground away. So I'm actually getting you to activate the muscles involved in that range of motion for your hip. We're not just stretching, which you'll find will be a lot more beneficial for the SI joint. So we're gonna lean forward, and then you're gonna press the ground away. And you're gonna do somewhere around 10, leaning towards the front leg. If you wanna move with the breath, we're inhaling to lower down. We're exhaling to press the ground away. And you'll be feeling that stretch somewhere in that front hip. And if you don't, I want you to walk your leg out more into a 90-90 position. And then if you do that, flex your foot. So we're going from here to there. After you've done around 10, you can do really as many as you want. We're gonna do that same thing over towards the back leg. So again, this leg can be in. If you're already feeling a crazy stretch, I want you to bend this leg so it basically touches your back leg. If it's not too bad for you, you can walk this leg out so it's more at a 90-degree angle. And then this is where it gets fun, y'all. We're gonna go belly button over towards your back knee. I want you to think about leaning towards your back knee, and you'll feel a stretch somewhere from your hip, the side of your hip, down your leg. You could also be feeling your other hip. You could also be feeling your low back. And then you're gonna press the ground away, just like we did with the front one. So you're gonna lean over, think about sending this hip back. It's a funky hip hinge, and then press the ground away. And you can either be here or with that leg in. And again, the closer your legs are together, the less of a stretch. The farther this back leg it is, the harder, not harder, the more intense. So I want you to find what feels best in your body. We're leaning towards inhale. Exhale, we're pressing the ground away. And we're gonna do about 10 of those on both sides. And I'm just having you activate the muscles that allow your hip to move freely, rotationally in both directions. And then we'll switch that around. We'll do a couple on the other side. And then I'm gonna show you a twist that you can do that's a nice passive stretch. I always like to start here though, because a lot of the times people aren't feeling tension because they're tight. A lot of people feel tension because they need more strength around their joint. So we can do a little bit of both. And I'm doing that front leg again, sending that hip back, leaning forward, pressing the ground away. Okay, say I did 10. And then let's do that back one. Belly button's gonna come towards your back knee, flex your back foot, lean down, press your back knee, foot, and shin into the ground. I'll have a whole video on this on YouTube as well. Nice. And once you've done around 10 of all of those, I actually did this during my workout today. I got onto my back, and then I'm going to take one of my ankles, bring it over top my leg, and I'm gonna take a twist with my legs in this position. So knees start bent. You're gonna take one ankle, press it over top, and then I want you to think about sending the hip a little bit over towards the side first, and then you're gonna twist your legs over. Just doing that, I pop my lower back, so maybe that'll happen to you. Arms can be out at a T, you're gonna look away, and if you want a little more, you can take your hand away from the side you're twisting in and kind of pull that side down. And while you're in this stretch, you don't want to force it. One of the best things I want you to do is just breathe. So inhale, pretend you are breathing into your areas of tension like you're breathing into a balloon. And then exhale, let it go. See if you can soften a little bit into the stretch. Inhale, expand like you're filling up a balloon wherever you feel tight. And exhale, you're letting it go. And stay here for around 5 to 10. Inhale to breathe in, exhale to relax, and then you'll do that other side. Ankle on top. I'm gonna shift my hips a little bit over towards the side on the floor. Okay, good, no more questions, just making sure. And then we're gonna twist the legs over. If you want a little bit more, we can take a hand, pull that leg down. Other arm is out. If you want some more with your upper body, we can look towards the hand we're twisting. Inhale to expand. Exhale to let it go. and you're here for about 5 breaths. Good. Yay. So I hope that was helpful, that if you were my client and without seeing you, that's where I would begin. So your sacrum runs like this, and then your pelvis runs like this. And the place where your sacrum and your pelvis meet is called your SI joint. That joint itself doesn't have a lot of mobility, if not barely any. It barely moves. And a lot of the times when we're feeling pressure or tension in there, it's because I find for my own body and for my clients that we're not strong and we don't have strength and control in all the ways the hip can move. So we just did a little drill that opened up both rotational ways that the hip can move. And then I had you do a nice passive stretch that helped to release the tension. So I like to combine the strength and active work with the passive stretch. Melissa, I hope that was helpful. If you want more, go ahead and shoot me a DM and I can make sure that you get the link to the YouTube video that corresponds with that I already have. Or come see me at Lifetime North. Oh yeah. Yay, you're welcome. Happy that would help. Thanks for asking a question. I hope that was helpful. But yeah, so we want to strength and stretch, because I was actually explaining this to my hairstylist today. A lot of people are either doing release work and stretching only, or only doing strength training for their big muscles. The stuff that I teach combines the release work and stretching, which is really helpful, but we also want to strengthen the joint. So it's not, instead of thinking about like doing a bicep curl, we're strengthening the big muscles. Yes, the big muscles are involved when we strength train a joint, but so are the joint, the ligaments, the tendons, and the connective tissue that surround the joint and run in and through the muscles. And if we can, it helps us rewire the connective tissue. And if we can rewire the connective tissue, we can stop a lot of that tension and pain and make your body believe that that range of motion is safe for you again. Because a lot of the time, the reason why we're getting tension or joint restriction is because the brain does not perceive that range of motion as safe, because it might not be stable and it might not be strong. Or maybe it's just a way you haven't moved in like 30 years. So the brain's like, hey, she hasn't used it in a while. It must not be advantageous to her survival. Let's restrict that, which doesn't make sense. But maybe, you know, if you were to put this into context of early like hominid, if they're not using it, they might not need it. And it's all about how long you would survive. So a lot of this stuff is wired into us just based on survival. And though we're not looking, and I always tell my clients, we're not looking where our next meal is, most of us, right? In most parts of the world, we're fortunate that a lot of us don't have to worry about that. And we don't have to worry about running away and hunting and killing things or being that ourselves, at least in most part of the world. So we have these new modern pains that come with not being as active, that have a lot to do with survival. Yeah, right? I think it's cool too. The brain's just trying to keep you safe. It's just trying to keep you alive so you can continue to propagate the species. That's how biology works. which is kind of cool. So we're not worried about survival as much anymore. So we have a lot of these aches and pains that kind of come with it. It's just problems for modern life. Now that we're not worried about dying, we have all this tension and pain that we have because we're not running after things and worrying about that anymore. So I think it's funny. You look at it in that perspective, we have it a lot better than our ancestors did in a lot of ways. It just comes with new problems, and with new problems, we just have to think about new solutions. And hopefully that's what I'm here helping y'all with today. Oh, I think that's funny. Yeah. Hello, Jeffrey. Hello and welcome. If you have any questions related to mobility and movement, go ahead and pop them below. Ah! Sorry. Oops. Yeah. The brain just wants to keep you safe. So anything you don't use, we can get restrictions in because the body's like, hey, you must not move me that much. You must not need me. Also, if you have tension and pain, you're probably not going to move very much. So that keeps you safe too. It's all based on that. So a lot of the stuff with mobility, it's teaching the brain that if we move that way, we are safe. So you're rewiring connection between your brain and your body, which is a lot of what mobility methods teach the body, and of course that help connect to, help us with. So yes, it's about strengthening. Yes, it's about finding control, but a lot of it has to do with getting the brain to perceive our movement as safe again. And if we've been in a lot of pain, or you've had chronic pain, your body kind of stops trusting you. If you've been there, you know, but it stops trusting that movement is going to feel good, and it thinks it's going to be painful. So it restricts things because it doesn't trust the way you move, which is kind of a cool way to look at it, because once you continuously show up and give it low doses of movement that it can trust, it opens greater range of motion over time because it views them as safe. And what a lot of people don't know, as I started off, or maybe not a lot of people believe me at this point, I was very tight. I could not touch my toes. I was a big knot. I had knots everywhere. I can't even tell you how many. I was a runner for most of my life. I'd done a lot of sports, but I just kind of neglected my body. I thought I could push through pain for a really long period of time. And I was in a lot of pain. And it wasn't until it got really bad that I began to listen. And so, yeah, I was super tight. So I had to go through the same process that y'all are going through. We all kind of have to get there at some point. But yeah, it's possible. If you have a lot of tension and pain, know that like so much healing is possible. But it all happens in little bits, in little doses, slowly getting the body to trust you over time, slowly being consistent with the things that feel good and work for you, and also methods that are proven, a lot of the stuff that I teach. And yeah, so much healing is possible. Know that you are so not stuck. Hello guys, thanks for coming. Now I'm just kind of talking. If you have any questions for me about movement or mobility, I'm going to be on here for about another 10 minutes. So go ahead and pop them below. And if you're new, hello, my name is Jo. I've been answering questions today about spinal stiffness. We talked about some pre-running things that you can do. And then we just talked a lot about SI joint pain, which is a cool one that I don't get to talk about a lot. So I really like talking about that one. Yeah, so if there's any questions that you want to have a movement specialist, me, or a trainer answer, also me, go ahead and pop that below. I see clients here in North Austin, but if you don't live in North Austin and would like to chat, shoot me a DM and I would be happy to help you as well. The internet's pretty cool. We can see and do a lot of things and help, and I can see a lot of people from a lot of different places. So, and then if you ever have any questions at all about mobility, you can always DM me. And if you want a free resource, I have hundreds of free videos on YouTube that I would be happy to direct you to. So know that there's so many free resources available if working with a coach or a trainer isn't something that's accessible to you right now. One of my big missions right now is to make a lot of this accessible, because more people need this kind of movement. More people need to know about this stuff. So I'm jazzed about the fact of just spreading this information. So if you ever come across one of my videos, please share with your friends who need it, because I just want more people to have access to this stuff. Yeah. Because it's so healing. And yeah, I want more people to be out of pain if they can. And if just a couple things that I could show them, or you could show them, could help them. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna be on here for a couple more minutes. Jeffrey's here. Hello. If you have any questions for me, Jeffrey, go ahead and pop those below. And if not, I'm probably gonna tune out in a little bit. I can't think of any questions. I need to take a breath. Hello guys. I still see some new people trickling in. If you have any mobility questions, hello Mahaned, good to see you. Hello Isabella. I'm sorry for calling you out as soon as you get in. If you have any mobility questions, go ahead and pop them below, or movement, or questions you want to ask a trainer. I'm going to be on here for a couple more minutes. And you know what? I held myself accountable. I'm going to try to do this as many Mondays as I can, at least through December. Hello, beautiful. Hey. Hopefully you're doing good and staying warm over there. It's pretty cold this time of year. I am lucky in that I can be in shorts in December pretty easily where I am. I bet that is not the case where you are. Hello, Mahana. Not much. You have any questions for me today? Go ahead and put them below. I so appreciate y'all responding back to me. That's really kind. That's really nice. Not much is up. It's my day off. I'm in my room. Not much. Oh, I bet you are. I bet you are. It's cold there. I did not make my trip to Wisconsin this year. Did not. So maybe I will go next year. Yeah, you'll see me. You're welcome, Chris. I'm about to tune out. Thank you so much for your questions today. Shoot me a text or a DM if you want anything specific to what we talked about today, and I'd be happy to send you a video, or if I see you in person, show you a stretch. So feel free to reach out, guys. I'm always here if you need anything. Not a lot of people take me up on it, but if you have a question, I'll try my best to answer when I get to it. I really will. I really will. Da, 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 yay. Man, this selfie light is coming in clutch. It's quite dark in here, and you can still see me really well. But yeah, I just want to see as many people as I can out of pain, and if there's something that I could show them that could help them, I would be so happy. So yeah. I'm good. Keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, we found a good routine for you lately. I bet if you, as we continue to stick with that will be really helpful for your body. And thank you. I just got a haircut today. I never have straight hair. I cut a little bit of it off. So I'm basically not going to be washing my hair for a week. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you about 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna pop off for the evening. If you're new here, hello, ask me some mobility questions. We talked about my favorite exercise for spine health today. We talked about things to do pre-run. I forgot what a controlled articular rotation was, and Chris helped me out with that. And what's the third thing we did? Oh, we talked a lot about SI joint pain. I wish I had a diagram. Man, I need a skeleton. That would be really fun to have in my room. Oh man, I might buy myself one. I might get myself a skeleton. All right, guys, I think that's a pretty good way to end things today. Thank you all so much for everyone who left a comment and joined the live. I'm so happy. That's why I'm here. So, and then if you ever have any questions specific to your body, I think I've said this a lot, and you would like to ask me, go ahead and shoot me a DM. I would be happy to send you free resources. But then after that, if you want something more specific, I do offer in-person coaching here at Lifetime North Austin and training. And I also have virtual options. So be sure to shoot me a DM. There is so much healing that is available to all of us, and don't let yourself be stuck if all you need is a little bit of guidance. I'd be happy to help. Bye, guys. Happy moving. Yes, see you on Friday. Bye, guys.